And that's what startup money gets you.
Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. Now there are very few things that come as a surprise to me on the internet these days. Of course there is the occasional thing every once in a while that comes as a surprise to me, but most of the time these days nothing really surprises me. However, if there is one thing that definitely surprises me right now, it is the fact that the Vidme team has just announced that on December 15th they will fully be shutting down Vidme. That's right, the video sharing platform that at one point had a bunch of big YouTubers convinced that YouTube was falling and Vidme was rising, and that Vidme was going to take over YouTube, and actually had a ton of big YouTubers either start uploading to Vidme as a second account, or just moving to Vidme altogether. That video sharing website that managed to do all of that is now shutting down. And honestly, it comes as kind of a surprise to me, because at the beginning of the year, and even into the summer of this year, Vidme was actually doing quite well. It was making a name for itself, and in its own special way, it was kind of competing with YouTube, because of course it wasn't pulling in the same kind of traffic that YouTube does, or the same kind of video upload rates that YouTube has. It wasn't even coming close. However, it was generating a lot of traffic because big YouTubers were starting to upload there. YouTubers like It's Alex Clark, Gronk H, Jared Dines, and Jaden Animations, just to name a few. At one point, there were tons of big YouTubers coming onto Vidme and starting to upload there, and actually praising Vidme, saying that one day Vidme could possibly come into contention with YouTube. Of course, that would never happen, but to them, it was good enough that it actually potentially could. And that was a testament to how fast Vidme was growing at one point. And now it's just kind of gone all of a sudden with no fair warning. However, even though Vidme is ending, it may not actually be the end. The developers made a post on medium.com saying goodbye for now, and pretty much explaining that it may be the end for Vidme, but it's not the end for what they can do. So with that being said, let's jump into the article. Vidme came a long way as an independent platform, but we couldn't find a path to sustainability. We're building something new. After careful consideration, the Vidme team has arrived at the difficult decision to suspend the Vidme site and apps effective December 15th at noon Pacific time. We'll use this blog post to explain what this means for users, how we got here, and what's next for us. What this means for users: new signups and uploads will be disabled effective today. Existing videos will be playable and exportable from your video manager until December 15th at noon Pacific time, at which point they will be permanently deleted from the Vidme servers. All paid channel subscriptions will be suspended immediately, and subscriber-only videos will be exclusively accessible by their video owners. Any outstanding earnings will be paid out upon verification within 60 days. All Vidme paid subscriptions will cease as of today, and subscribers will no longer be billed. Why we started Vidme? We started Vidme, initially Vidme, before we could afford the shorter domain, in 2014 with the mission of helping the next generation of entertainers find their audience and earn a living. At the time, YouTube was the only major platform that provided revenue sharing, a system which often neglected creators with small or niche audiences. We were confident we could create a new type of video platform, one that was more community-oriented, more transparent, and more equatable to creators. Inspired by Reddit's crowd curation, we also saw an opportunity to improve the experience for both viewers and curators by allowing the community to surface trending content. Given the large market opportunity, video ad spend is $84 billion in the US alone, and the impending shift from linear television viewing towards digital video, we believe that we could create a sustainable platform to accomplish these goals. The developers also put in a long list of what they accomplished on Vidme in this blog post, but reading this would probably drag this video on way longer than it needs to be, so if you want to read what Vidme accomplished, please click the link in the description down below. Skipping ahead, what we learned and why we're moving on to something new. Although we still believe that the world would greatly benefit from a creator-first video platform, we weren't able to find a path to financial sustainability. Here are major obstacles we encountered in our attempts. Monetizing user-generated content is increasingly challenging. Advertisers want to target specific audiences, which means a new platform that doesn't store troves of personal user data is at a severe disadvantage relative to Facebook and Google, which combined control over 60% of online ad spending in the US. Most advertisers want their ads to complement brand-safe content. Unfortunately, this is a subjective decision, which is difficult, to define and enforce. Content, therefore, must be thoroughly reviewed and moderated, an expensive prospect. As YouTube recently learned with the adpocalypse, even a single poorly moderated video can result in a PR disaster and undermine advertiser trust. Few advertisers are willing to negotiate direct deals with platforms that don't have enormous scale, meaning ad revenue rates are lower for newer platforms. In turn, there's less overall revenue to be shared with creators, which means creators are less likely to support newer platforms for a sustained period of time. Although we introduced direct fan patronage as an additional business model, the profit margin was insufficient to cover the high costs of storing and delivering video. Speaking of that, storing and delivering video is becoming less expensive, but remains extremely costly. Videos are often massive files, and making them globally available at any time is expensive. YouTube sold to Google just 18 months after launching, partly because of YouTube's high burn rate, and to this day is still likely operating at a loss. When we launched in 2014, we projected that infrastructure costs would decline due to increased competition in the CDN and data storage industries. While marginal prices have fallen dramatically over the past few years, our aggregate costs still outpaced our ability to generate meaningful revenue. The definition of scale has changed, and attracting audiences away from existing platforms is harder than ever. 8 of the 10 most popular apps are owned by Google and Facebook. Both companies also have many other apps that continually pull users back into their networks. And there's the chart. Many creators with millions of subscribers on YouTube and Facebook were initially attracted to Vidme's model, but faced difficulty transitioning audiences from their home platforms. Convincing people to use and keep using a new platform is hard, leaving many creators locked in. Both Facebook and YouTube also actively deprecate content shared from competing platforms. Vidme's social traffic dropped markedly once Facebook began to prioritize its native player. Without a massive captive audience already on the platform, new channels struggled to find immediate growth. As such, creators didn't remain active long enough for us to achieve sufficient network effects across channels. Lacking a critical audience size, we struggled to attract direct advertisers to help offset our infrastructure costs, leaving few resources to spend on product innovation and attracting new audiences. When we started, we knew that we were taking a calculated risk, but in hindsight, we underestimated the speed in which the competitive landscape would change. Insights for newcomers: if you're considering building your own video platform, here are a few suggestions. Monetization: plan to operate at a loss for an indefinite period of time and/or be operated by a deep-pocketed business with multiple revenue streams and touchpoints with consumers. Give users of your existing products incentives to engage with your video platform, and be wary of monetizing with advertisements prior to achieving massive scale. Infrastructure costs: explore emerging technologies such as peer-to-peer storage and delivery to further reduce infrastructure overhead. Consider restrictive storage policies and own as much of the physical infrastructure as possible. Audience building: leverage an existing audience by issuing a native currency, example blockchain, to equitably reward contributors. And finally, what's next for the team? While we're disappointed to close something that we put so much of our hearts into, we're excited and eager to apply what we've learned to our new product, which we'll be announcing next year. Unfortunately, not every member of the Vidme team will be staying on for the next chapter, so if you're interested in hiring any of these talented people, please email us at hello@bitkitchen.co and we'll connect you. In the meantime, we're talking with some creator-focused companies that might incorporate our technology and revive Vidme in some new form in the future. Thank you. And that is the end to Vidme's story. You know, despite all of the times that I made fun of Vidme and said that it was going downhill in terms of its user base, with its layout, and with its video player, and really just a multitude of other things, honestly, it is still very surprising and honestly kind of sad to see Vidme go, especially after such a promising year they initially had at the first half of 2017. But ultimately, in the end, Vidme lost the battle to YouTube. And honestly, I'm kinda curious to see where the team goes from here. Anyway though, that'll be about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe to become a crafting lord. This is Crafting Lord 21, and I will see you guys in the next video.